Okay, Torah, Gospel, New Testament. Take heed not to be overcome with cares. Yeshua warns his disciples to take heed not to be overcome with cares in Luke chapter 21, to guard themselves against the anxieties and burdens of daily life that can weigh down the heart and obscure spiritual readiness. The Torah repeatedly cautions against fear, worry, and the kind of care that distracts from trusting God's provision in his presence. The Torah parallels here. 1, Deuteronomy 8. Israel's taught that God sustained them in the wilderness so they would learn dependence rather than anxiety over daily needs. 2, Exodus 16. The manna instructions train Israel not to worry about tomorrow. Gathering more than needed reveals a heart overcome with care. And 3, Deuteronomy 11, Israel's warned not to rely anxiously on human labor alone. God himself gives rain and provision. 4, Deuteronomy 20, the Lord goes with them. 5, Deuteronomy 31, be strong and of good courage. Counters the temptation, be overwhelmed by future concerns. 6, Numbers 14, the people's anxious fear about the land leads them to despair and rebellion, showing how cares can choke faith. 7, Deuteronomy 6, when Israel enters abundance, they must beware of the anxious self-reliance that forgets God. And so the context here, Yeshua's warning in Luke 21 reflects the Torah's consistent teaching that worry, fear, and burdens of daily life can pull the heart away from trusting God. The Torah trains Israel to live in a posture of dependence, whether in scarcity or abundance, so that cares do not dominate the inner life. In both the Torah and the Gospel, the danger is not responsibility itself, but the inward weight of anxiety that blinds a person to God's presence and dulls spiritual vigilance. So the core insight here is that the Torah teaches that God's presence and God's people must resist the pull of anxious care by remembering his provision, his presence, and his promises. Yeshua intensifies this call by linking freedom from overwhelming cares to readiness for God's future work, urging a heart that stays light and watchful and anchored in trust. So again, this is how Yeshua taught Torah in the New Testament. The Torah has not passed away.